Hello, Dwight Norris here of fishingnetwork.com here on the Charles River Esplanade, and I wanted to alert you of something you've probably seen a little bit about in Florida, which is the red tide. Here, the tide isn't exactly red. There aren't like mass fish deaths in the area because it's nowhere near as bad, but they've now mentioned and talked about the cyanobacteria blooms, which create neurotoxins for fish, and they also deplete oxygen. And as you have seen, it's very harmful for the environment, and sometimes they tell people not to get in the water. So, as you probably saw in my previous cyanobacteria video, I talked about the signs being up and people told not to go in the water, not to touch the water. If you come into contact with anything that went in the water, wash your hands, and please don't go into the water, which obviously meant, don't go fishing. I went anyway because, I've seen it before. It was a very light treatment. I know how bad it can get. How bad it can get is what you're seeing in Florida right now, and it does happen. And people are scared of the cyanobacteria, but they don't know that it's always been here. It says regulated, and it's actually a good thing for the environment in very small portions. Kind of like, eating that pizza. One pizza, delicious, good, not a problem. You eat two pizzas, not so good. You eat two pizzas a day, not good. Eventually, that'll come and bite you. Cholesterol, health issues, etc., etc. Eat in moderation. And that's the same way this kind of stuff is doing. So this is actually a grass, and it's kind of surrounded by cyanobacteria. And the heat and oxygen depletion has allowed it to grow exponentially. So let's look at this. And if you look down, I'm not sure there, it doesn't look very well, you need glasses, but less than a foot under the water, like the whole thing is just this deep, grassy stuff surrounded in cyanobacteria that the ducks are trying to get a meal out of there, but it stinks. And places where I used to see, I could look down here and see 10 or more fish in one spot, all the way down here. And I'm like, oh man, this place is full of panfish, it's full of bluegills, it's full of crappie, there's white perch rolling around, or white bass, whatever you want to call it. And if you get lucky, maybe you'll see, a carp or even a random striper rolling around. But now, nothing for weeks. Since those signs went up, it's been slowly depleted, and I caught that one bass, luckily, right at the end of the Esplanade where less of the stuff is. But since then, nothing. I can't find a fish, can't see a fish, and I know where they are. They're out there, away from all this cyanobacteria blooms, and this is deeper water. It's hot, so they're in those deep water holes. And to be quite honest, I need a boat right now. I need that inflatable kayak. Otherwise, I'll be making videos of lures and bags and anything else that's relevant for Fishing Network without actually catching fish. That's not fun. And this brings me to a very helpful point. Maybe you're like me, and well, not like me, but you have one place you like to go, it's really close, or you only have one place you can go, and something like this happens and it just shuts everything down. Then you can't fish. Even if you had the weekend, you would be stuck down as well. But you have to come up with a different game plan. Like, what are you gonna do? What's the problem here? My problem is the fish have moved. They're no longer on the shoreline where all this is happening. They'll be back later when this dies down. And once the heat goes down around late September, October, this will go away, and then the fish will come back, and I'll be catching fish again. Sorry, this is kids over here playing in the playground. But precisely, you should make a different decision about what you're gonna do. So, one, I want to get a boat, and I need to go out there, the promised land. And I have a period of time that I can do that in. I believe in an inflatable kayak that's quick to pump up and easy to carry and transport. I can get it pumped up in 5 minutes and deflated in 5 minutes. Now there is packing time as well, so I'm gonna add on an extra 5 minutes total for that. So that leaves me with about 20 to 25 minutes. of time. That's a little tight. I'll have to do travel time to wherever I want to go and see if I can catch a fish. So it's more of a test. And that's the way you should start off this whole fish network thing. You have a place you want to go, you have your fishing rods, you have your fishing lures, you have your bait, and you have your transportation. You believe you can get there and get back to work in a decent amount of time, which is, you know, whatever you have for lunch, half an hour, and just test it out. Go out there, take a good description of how much time you believe it's going to take, and then actually test how long it actually takes to get there, and then how long it actually takes to get fishing. Maybe you have to go to some place and then walk through a trail to get to it, or some special access. Oh, I'm at the beach parking where there's a jetty, but the jetty's all the way around here. I have to walk an extra 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes of my time on either end that I have to think about when I do all that. So you may run into these situations, and maybe you'll be able to get around them, and sometimes you won't. There might be a fishing drought, and that's no fun. So you should really make a plan. What am I going to do now that this influx of grass and low oxygen, and honestly there's no fish here where I like to fish the most, and it's easiest to fish, and there's not much fishing pressure either. I'm going to have to go out there. I'm going to have to go out to the big water. And that means I'm going to have to put some money down and get that inflatable kayak, and I need to do it yesterday. And that's my next thing to do. So until then, you'll probably only see me fishing in my local area where I can actually have access to this river further up, and fishing there to see what's hitting. And that'll be a weekend thing. Or it'll be, yes, what I spoke about earlier many times. Maybe fishing at work isn't something you want to do. Maybe you like sitting at your desk and, you know, roaming through the internet and eating your meal peacefully and then going back to work. Maybe that's cool for you. Maybe you don't want to fish that way. But there are other ways to fish. You could fish early in the morning, you could fish late at night. And maybe I should take this as a test of waking up early, hitting the river before I go to work, and seeing what I can catch. I regularly commute by bike, so I could have my backpack with my little Eagle Claw packet in there and my lures, and I can go out there not too far away. I can hit it in different spots on the way to work and see what I catch. It could be pretty cool. You know, I could hop on that why am I drawing a blank here? The Zoom trick worm and try tricking some bass along the river at various points and seeing what happens. I'll actually take the river trail instead of going straight past all the colleges on Com Ave, and I get to see what's happening. That could be my new thing until this blows over. You can make the same decision to try something else out, and I believe if you do that, you can make it happen. Whoa. I just saw a fish catch an eel. Now there's a truck passing me. That was, I'm hoping that's just watering the plants and not fertilizer, insecticide, making all of this worse. Anyway, just take a look down here. If you look close, oh, and I just lost my son. But let's make that decision to try something new out. Actually, take a look at this bird here. I think it's I forgot what it's called, an egret, or a loon. Not a loon. It's an egret. But he just dove, which is what they do, and he came up with about a foot-long American eel, and he swallowed it whole. So, okay, there's something here. It's not fish. Well, an eel is a fish, but I'm still eating it. But sometimes you just have to make a different decision, different plan, and it's okay. Changes are okay. Things happen, you have to accept them, and then you have to take action. Either you're going to try to fix the problem, or with the environment, if you can, or fix your problem of not catching fish and trying something else out. You can go somewhere else, fish in the morning, fish at night, fish during lunch, fish whenever you have time. That's why I say that you should figure out what you're doing with your time and where you have more time to fish. So before I get any more verbose about this whole situation, about what I'm gonna do, I now have a plan, and I just thought about it on this video. I'm gonna try it in the morning, and I'm gonna get that inflatable kayak as soon as possible and try to get out there and do a whole new series of fishing at work, a whole new way, so you can see exactly how it works and what's the best things to do to make that happen. So this is Dwight Norris, Fishing at Work, checking out of this Cyanobacteria bloom Boston style.